here, but I'm 99% sure that Tina and Alice were responsible for that. Am I correct?
Amen.
And so we appreciate it very much.
Amen.
We really do. And on my desk today, there are a little deal of special cookies. They're mine. They're mine and Bob's. All right, so they're mine and Bob's. And up there, I got a little bag of See's candy. Again, that would be yours. That would be Sarah's. Also, how many knows where Chrissy lives? Laughlin. A long way. You notice Chrissy's new haircut? We like it. Mary and Liz, every Sunday morning, while you're still stretching, and I'm still stretching maybe, they're in their car headed for Laughlin to pick up Chrissy. And then from Laughlin all the way here. And on the way they pick up Your Highness right over here. Bob, look at that tie. Is that a cool tie or what? And Dolores. And they pick them up every Sunday and bring them all the way down here to church and then turn around and head all the way back. And I want to commend them for doing that.
Amen.
That's a tremendous gesture. And yeah, give a hand. And I know others of you do special things from time to time. And I appreciate our music. I appreciate everybody that makes an effort. They give up their Saturday afternoon and they come over here and do this, practice for it, and then they get up today and do that. That last song that Jim did, that was really good. That was nice, and we appreciate that so much. But let's ask ourselves the question, why? Why do we do these things? What is it about this that compels us? Well, let me start at the foundation of the world. When God was creating the heavens and the earth, He was exposing all of His grandest ideas. These were God's ideas. He had what we know as heaven and earth, colors. Who don't get impressed with a hummingbird? Who don't get impressed with a field full of California poppies? Or look upon a mountain, or even the desert. How many loves the desert? I just love how the desert looks. I love the fact that you can see so far. There's one spot as you're going to L.A. down the freeway that you can look off to the south. You're probably looking 60 miles away. And it's just incredible, really. All the majesty that God has, I mean, down to little bitty tiny bugs and stuff that you and I will never see, but it's all part of God's creative ideas. Well, in that process, He came up with one really good idea, and He made man. And then He had another even better idea, and He made woman. How many agrees with that?
Amen.
So, but He never made them as individuals. That wasn't what the process was. He had an idea. And His idea was family. So that's how it started. He had them. The Bible said God was lonely. And He desired companionship, and that's why He made Adam. But He realized then that Adam was lonely. And so He made Eve. And now the first one didn't turn out so good. But nonetheless, this was God's idea, and it's going to get to family. So these two get together and they have children. One of them didn't turn out too good. But that's not God's fault. That's the fact that God had an idea. I'm going to let these people choose for themselves. I'm going to give them the ability to say yes and to say no. And it didn't just include what you're going to have for dinner. It just didn't include you get to make the idea or the decision of which movie you're going to go see. You can make the decision whether or not you're going to accept salvation or reject salvation.
Amen.
He gave us that little creative part of our own life. You know, something very interesting. Yes, God created the process of childbirth. But He lets you make babies. It's a man and a woman, and a man and a woman make the choice, and they create the baby. And it's not always, I mean, a great union. That marriage or that relationship isn't always made in heaven. But a man and a woman can make a baby. So that creative portion of it God has placed in our hands. But what happens from that is, again, family. You get that little rug rat, you know, you go around sometimes, and you've been there, they take the little guy or the little girl, and they run around, and they're showing them off to everybody, and every now and then. Now, how many knows who Penelope is? Now, there's something wrong with you if you don't think that's one of the cutest little girls that you ever saw. How many remembers Andrew? Is that one of the cutest little guys there is? I mean, but once in a while, now, you know, once in a while, somebody will bring up their little youngster, you know, their brand new little baby. You know where I'm going with this. And, you know, they go like this, you know, and they show you, isn't she pretty? And you're going, oh. Well, yes, as a matter of fact. Here's what it is. Picture, who could I pick on? I'll say, I'm going to pick on Bob. Picture Bob's head in that 3-week-old baby, and some of them don't look any better. You know what I'm saying, Bob? So, but it is an interesting idea that God had. And God lets us, and so we make these families, and from family, you know, this is where the mother is supposed to be the compassion, and the father is supposed to be the justice. There's a big, monstrous breakdown in the family today, amen? Amen. And it's because some of them don't have the father. Some of them don't have the mother. Some of them have a father, but he's worthless. Some of them have a mother, but she's worthless. And it's during those formidable years, you see, that God designed in His idea that you and I would admonish the children. We would teach them the rights and wrongs, the goods, the bads. That we would, by example, lead those little children during those formidable years until they come up to an age where they bear the responsibility for themselves. And then they continue on in one of God's other ideas that men and women should leave their mother and their father and should cleave one to another. Amen. And what do you got? Another family. Grandma and Grandpa, you know, they still sustain their life, and you've gotten married, and then you have kids, and you move on. Those kids have kids, and they move on, and away it goes. Now, how many will agree with me? It happens right before your eyes. It happens in a big hurry. I can remember, you know, for example, when Bobby and I, when we were kids. Now, Bobby is considerably older than me, thank God. And but we can remember fondly of a lot of the grand experiences that we had as family and the association that we had as family. Now, let me give you an example of who Bob's dad was. You ready for this? One time somebody buttered his toast and he got mad because they buttered the wrong side. Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know how you can do that. I don't know how you do that. But he got upset because they buttered the wrong side of his toast. Now, Bobby, on the other hand, you can't hardly make him mad. So it's amazing. But this little thought that I have this morning that I want to share with you is that God